All right, ready for some
Perfect.
song
So,
and dance?
yeah, well, you'll be able to tell if you're in it. All right, let me test the sound. It looks as though it's working. Yeah, I think we're good.
Testing.
You can see that little green.
Okay.
Check.
Yeah, I think we're good. Super. As long as you can, when you step aside, you can, you'll see if
You're a
you're.
lot closer to the unit now, so it should be
Nice. Okay. Great.
Oh, it's that one back here, isn't it? Hello.
I was going to ask you, are you going to? Oh, is this my hand? Yes. You and Jose. Your children, yeah. I found it very and I have no idea about Ken, whether when his resignation was effective. So how long he'll be around? Yeah. Look at that choir.
15 minutes.
Wow. Were you Bob? 1948. I don't know. In the 40s. Oh, yeah. I don't know.
I sure.
Finding stuff. Arabic? Really?
I thought you'd bring him tonight, maybe.
I will on November 4th.
Yeah. Maybe have a comment.
Yeah, right. Put me to bed.
Oh, not enough information. Could be the fun of any church.
Yeah, well, it wasn't this church, maybe it was. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. You're a good laugh.
Japanese. I don't know, yo. They had roses back then? Oh, they have roses, yeah. It's so old. Wow. I can't tell.
Is it water? Yeah, I'm sure.
Gray, are they gray?
That's what they look like. How did you come across?
I was playing the sister around. No. I don't need it.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, she read it.
You know what, I worry if we should not spread it out yet.
How are you, Carol? I'm fine, Carol.
See, are you doing it? I think I'm just gonna put them up there because if I spread them out, then.
we'll put 30 water, that'll cut down a lot. Yeah. If you're in church, it must be morning.
It's all good.
Yeah. Well, we got that letter and I forwarded it yeah, right. Yeah, I forwarded it. Yeah, here it is. Hi, I'm glad you came. Well,
On the front table, just put a sandwich shake for carrying the doors.
oh, that's
And December, we're doing fried chicken. I'll have in December.
December.
What's the name of that
So I put
site?
your name down and you can next to it.
Yes.
What's the name of that? Okay,
I'll remind
How
you.
many do you have?
No, I'm gonna come here. Tonight's especially my first. So I'm gonna check October and November.
Okay,
And then we'll know.
okay, yeah. Maybe that'll start setting the pace.
Yeah.
And I love the fried chickens.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
You know who I am.
Can I give you some water?
Yeah, yeah,
One meeting.
yeah.
The big piece. Huh? Church of the
Mountain View.
Mountain View, and the other one was, yeah. Yeah. Right, I remember, yeah.
Well, I asked if there was anything I could do to help with it. I said,
Yeah.
it's the now. Yeah. Yeah. I'm there.
We've got questions for you.
Good.
Ready? The press course here.
Folks bar and grill.
And this was the PNC, right?
Beer untapped. Potato, chicken, grilled cheese sandwich.
So are we ready to begin? It's 5 after, I guess we will. It's good to see everybody here. I'm glad you folks could show up. Those who may watch this recording at a later time, welcome to you as well. The pastor nominating committee has been working on the mission study and congregational survey for some time. What I'm going to provide is a few highlights from that survey. Only highlights. The mission study and congregational survey results are available online. You've got a link to it if you've received the weekly newsletter. We asked about 6 things. We asked about your relationship with FPC, what's important in worship, what's important for a pastor, how FPC is doing, hopes for the future of FPC, and any other comments that you have. Who responded? We were very interested to see that. I'm answering this, but I know you did. Thank you for it. We got 94 responses, which was very good, which is 39% of the membership. That's pretty good.
That's good.
That's good. Or 48% of the average in-person worship, which is better. Or 90% of the average in-person, 48% of worship, online and in-person, or 90% of the average in-person worship, which we suspect is who actually responded to this involved. So that was very good. We think we got a good response from those who are really active with the congregation. We found several themes. We want to further God's kingdom. We'd like to get some younger folks here. We're getting kind of gray. And there's healthy tension, we called it, or I called it, between tradition. We like things just the way they are. And we like innovation. We think if we do things a little bit differently, we can get more people participating in this important life of the church. We looked at transit membership and attendance, just to get set the stage for this. A top line is membership. The vertical axis is numbers of people, years across the bottom axis. So membership has been declining from 2003, about 530, I believe it was, to 2002, about 240 members. That's an annual decrease of 4% per year. That needs to change. And that's the congregation's job, not a new pastor's job, although that person can help, but that's our job to help turn that around. We looked at what attendance looked like in 4 categories. The dark black bars are first service attendance. The checkerboard is coffee house. The gray was combined, where we didn't have separate data for coffee house attendance. And then the diagonal crosshatch at the right is online attendance, where we started that. About 20% of the attendance was coffee house. That's significant. That says to us, that was an important worship opportunity for folks. About 50% of the apparent attendance is online. And that's most likely underestimated because those are connections, not people viewing. So that's the big deal. Online worship is really important to this worshiping body. We looked at years that respondees have attended or been members of this church. The bar on the left, the not, that represents people who responded who are not members, but have been attending. Half the attenders are long timers, 20-year plus members and or attendees, congregants of the church. We looked at age distributions, arbitrarily broken as they were in the survey into 7 categories, 0 to 19 through 70-year-old plus members and attendees. We compared the 2015 survey results to this survey result. And every category, the numbers have gone down a little bit, which follows the trend of declining membership over those 8 years. About 50% are in the age bracket 69 and younger, and 50% are old people like me, 70 years old and older. One of the important things that came across loud and clear in the survey, and I think nearly unanimous, is that we need to bump up those numbers on the left side of that graph. We asked how likely it is that respondents are going to be active with FPC in 3 years. The very likely or fairly likely group was 50% of the respondents. About 19% said they're unlikely to be active. That 19% over 3 years equates to a faster decline in loss of membership than we've experienced over the last 8 years. So if that's accurate, we need to do more than simply replace those people. We asked what's important in worship. Well, see, I changed out some of my slides by mistake. So the most important, not surprisingly, is sermons. Thought-provoking sermons and sermons based grounded in Scripture. The second most important is music. We asked about a number of categories of music. Hearing music, congregational singing, traditional hymn singing is important. Another group that's important to a lot of people is children's time and time to greet each other. Those two kind of fall under the category of fellowship. We are a fellowship church. What's important in worship? Part 2. Yes, sir.
Can you go back to the last slide? All those are over 50%. Were there other things that were on the survey that were less than 50%?
Yes, there were quite a few. There were probably,
So really all.
we got 7 in there. There were probably at least 7 that were less than 50%.
So all those three groups would definitely be part of these.
Yes. Yeah, thanks for asking that. I'm too familiar with these slides. Yeah, 50% and over or more of the respondees responded that these things were important. And the full data set is in the mission statement. But what's important? Recognizing visitors. We're a friendly, welcoming church. Important to about 25% was for kids to have their own worship. This is a really important one for us to consider. This is where there's a healthy tension, I guess, of another category. Some people feel strongly that kids should not be in worship service because they can be disruptive. Some feel equally strongly that a young family visiting us for the first time, if they feel their kids are not welcome, are they coming back again? You tell me. We need to be careful about that one in our opinion. How should we worship? We looked at a number of categories. Over 75% favor traditional kinds of worship. Not surprisingly, 100% say we need traditional in-person worship. 85% said VBS is important, Vacation Bible School, blended traditional and contemporary is important to many, and online worship is quite important. Over 80% said that's very important. And as you can see, the crosshatch bars are those who said it's not important or we should not have. That's increasing as we go to the right. There's more disagreement over these on the right. There's a strong feeling that we should have coffee house worship, but there's also an increasing number of folks who think we should not have that. The argument for that came from a number of respondees was that by breaking services up among different groups, we dilute the sense of community that we have. We don't have the answer, but that's an issue, I think, for the congregation to wrestle with. Split service is even more important. It's almost 50-50 on whether we should have separate services. How are we doing? We looked at a whole range of things. Just rather arbitrarily said 75% and more respondees saying that something is important or that we're doing well means that we're doing very well in those. Meaningful worship, worship in today's language, and artistic events. There's a group of activities for which we're doing well. Counseling members, service to needy, fellowship events, adult ed, global outreach, Arizona missions, increasing our relationship with Christ. And there's a group for various reasons that people think that we should re-examine, retool, refocus. We asked about how we should grow First Presbyterian Church. We asked a few questions about this. Shown here are three of them, and the bars, the answers here are whether you agree with these approaches. Attracting the Gen Y Z, the nominally 9 to 40-year-olds. 100% of the respondents said we got to do that. There is no disagreement. We should increase community visibility. Almost 100% said that we need to do that. Attract neighbors. Well over 90% said we need to do that. A fewer were less willing to participate, but still there's a lot of willingness to participate. So those crosshatch bars are, would you participate? Do you agree? Kinds of questions. Attracting the Gen Y Z. I would be flexible. Different kinds of worship formats. Community visibility, I want to help. Over 75% said they would. Attract neighbors, 75% said they would be willing to help. So there's enthusiasm, there's support. That's what we're getting from this survey. We want to do stuff as a church. Attracting, what should we do to attract young singles and families? 95+% said we should hold regular family fun events, and we're doing that. I mean, we're doing, one of those is going on tonight. We've got quite a few more planned. That we've got those kinds of things in progress. We just need to keep the focus on that. There's a feeling that we should sponsor youth activities outside of church, social groups, services in addition to Sunday morning. This is, again, the split service, coffee house on another night sort of question. 75% said we should do that. Not so much support for sponsoring sports teams. Not surprising, at least to me. Where are we in the pastoral search process? Shifting over to that. It's It's taking place in 6 stages, which looks daunting. We got lots of words on there. We are through stage 1 and we're into stage 2. Somehow I got the wrong presentation on this because I had things that are easy to read, so I apologize. But stage 1 is we've elected PNC, and PNC has done a congregational survey and prepared the mission study. That's done. Stage 2, mission studies approved by session and commission on ministry. It's been approved by session. It's being considered by commission on ministry today. We're well into the subsequent stages. We're not waiting for approval of the mission study to continue. Stage 3 is preparing the ministry discernment profile, the church information form. We have prepared that. That's ready to be uploaded to the presbytery site, which is one means by which we seek pastors. It's to the Commission on Ministry for approval. After it's approved, it will be uploaded. Stage 4, advertising. We're going to use other means to search for pastors. We have an advertisement ready to be posted. We're not going to post it until we've got the approval of the Commission on Ministry for the MDP, too many 3-letter acronyms. But we're waiting for that to happen before we post the ad, and then we're going to advertise. Then the final 2 steps, the PNC will go off into the corner and receive applications and consider those prayerfully and asking for God's discernment. We would welcome applications from people that you know. We would like you, if you have people that you'd like to put forward, please do, and then please step aside. There have been churches that have had great turmoil where somebody has been brought forward from within the church to the pastor nominating committee and then it's not been selected. We don't want that to happen, but we don't want to dissuade you from bringing forth prospective candidates. Once we've identified with God's grace and guidance, the minister, the pastor that we believe is correct for this congregation will bring it forward to the congregation for, we hope, unanimous approval. And then stage 6, we say goodbye to Pastor David, and thank you very much, and we welcome our new pastor. Those are only the highlights. I'd encourage you, if you're interested, go get that mission study, look at the congregational survey, date it in more detail, read it, think about it. We hope and pray that it will be a living document, continue to be updated as we, the congregation, see appropriate. Questions? Comments? I can defer, thank you. I can defer questions, hard questions to a couple of the PNC, 3 of the PNC members. Easy ones, I think. Yes, ma'am.
Have you heard from Terry?
Terry has been involved with this.
No,
Yeah.
no, but that email that she sent in, have you heard back from him?
Oh,
Because I haven't.
no, I haven't heard back from him in the last couple of emails that I've sent. But I'm expecting that we'll hear in the next couple of days because he's meeting today with this Commission on Ministry. So hopefully this week we'll have a response from him. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Marcus, are you sure COF had the same leadership needs today, but I don't think so. See, oh, my cousin first went to, I mean, the leadership.
Don't worry, I got sick.
Well, I had her.
This concludes today's broadcast.
Yeah, tell her to hold on.